Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the Fair Use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I was outside yesterday and a crow came over and sat down next to me and started to talk to me. What, your crows don't talk to you? Anyways, so he says to me, hey, could you support my charity? I said, support your charity? What do you even stand for? And he said, caw, 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 caw. I said, what the heck does that even mean? And he said, it's for good cause. See, for good cause, for good cause.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. That's the best opening yet. Dang. Thank you there, girl. I couldn't have said it better. Woo woo. We're here again. Friday night. Whoop whoop. Woof woof. There she goes again. And yeah. And so let's turn this thing on. Say hi officially. Hey everybody. How's it going? Look at that handsome mug. I didn't say Tom Selleck, you did. Well, actually I just did. If he was older, had less hair, a little more weight. But we're both equally handsome. You know,
That's very true.
it's my show and it's my button. I can push it whenever I want. See? Don't start singing. Don't start singing? Yeah, remember my wife and I sang one time on a stream, and they took it down, copyright strike, which, just went to my head because it told me that's how good we did it for performance. So yeah, let's see. Welcome everyone. It's great to see everyone made it again. We've got already numbers are climbing. We're in the 60s. Keep on going, and get way past that. Those magic numbers, and whatever they are. And we've got some people over on Rockfish. How you doing, everyone? I've got I saw Brett over there and a few other people, but my Rockfin, I always have to keep refreshing it for some reason. It acts like I don't know. But we love you over there, Rockfin. Anyways, so that's my simulcast. That's the extent of the Ceiling Fan Man broadcast. Occasionally, it extends over to there she is. Where's the chat? This lovely lady's channel, because it helps me not have to do this every week. And no offense, I love you all, and I love doing this show. Just ask my wife; it keeps her sane too. But where's my guy? Where is it? Gotta get him for that.
That's very true.
And so wait, so now we got, but I do talk to him and ask him, first of all, I do accept it as a blessing. I say, thank you, Father, for this blessing. I understand, I see it as a blessing because I do enjoy doing this. It's obvious. I have a gift of gab, as I'm told. I do like researching things. And so that's really fun. And then, obviously I have a background that allows me to work these programs and make hopefully entertaining, if not funny, stuff. And God gave me what I believe is, a decent sense of humor, and it seems to resonate with people. And so I understand this is a blessing. But I do ask him, is it time yet to do a different blessing? And he just looks at me and he's like, really? And so we stop. And of course, it's all in my head. None of that actually happens. But I do, I know that for whatever reason, well, I'm sure he has many reasons, but whether I'll ever understand them or know them, for whatever reason, he chose this vessel to talk to people. Because I think since I never had and still do not have a religious background. That's the funny thing. We'll talk about that. And but because I've seen like both sides, I've looked at love from both sides now. Oh, I'm about to sing. See, my wife said don't sing. She said no singing.
That's very true.
But I don't care. Let's sing.
I don't care.
No, nobody wants that. Trust me, nobody. And this is only cranberry juice right now, forever, seems like. I'd have to drink something harsher to actually get me to sing on a stream anymore. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the Holy Spirit will fill me up and we'll sing. But I did want to say, let's see. I want to start this show. We're going to do all the usual stuff. I got lots of things to talk about. And I've also been thinking about an idea. How about this? We can play a not play a game, but we can. It's sort of like a question thing. And so, how about this? If there's something about, well, I don't want to name a group of people because that always gets you in trouble. But I read the Bible. If there's something about people that read the Bible that you find irritating or offensive, I'd like you to, and with no judgment, say, hey, this is something that bothers me that Bible reading people do. How about that? Okay. Because I don't believe that's a group of people that can be, offended. And so what I'd like to do is legitimately see what the gripes are and see if I can't help answer them, or possibly even show you that maybe I agree with some of it. Okay. Because that's why I think God chose me, is since I'm really not affiliated with any team, red, blue, sports ball, doesn't matter. I'm sort of disassociated with all different leagues, associations, fraternity clubs, gangs. None of that. It's just me and a screen. And when I look at the screen, I only obviously see me and maybe a few names I recognize. But that's just it. It's a conversation. And so I'd like to know if there are things, and maybe we can discuss it, because I really do believe that people that read the Bible are getting a bad rap. And I believe I'm not causing, I hope not, but maybe I am, and I'd like to know. And so maybe we can put that towards the end of the show. You'll have some time to think about it. And if you don't want to ask anything, don't ask anything. It's fine. It's no big. You can always write to me. My email is ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. I try to answer everyone. I think I do. I have a lot of people that do write to me. Heather and Heather, she's always lovely on Rockfin. And Trevor and Terry and Aaron and Mason, but they all send me things and write to me, and I love it. I'll answer everyone, and if I've forgotten you, send me another one. I'll figure it out. I did have a thing where Gmail like kills emails arbitrarily. It's weird. And so, but in any case, as far as that goes, and then what was I going to say? So we'll talk about that later in the show, but we'll do all the other fun stuff. But I did want to start this show because this show is generated not just for your entertainment and to maybe not make you feel so out of touch with the world for however long we go, 2-3 hours, whatever we decide, and do it in an entertaining way. But at the end of the day, like I said, for me, this is what was presented to me to help people wake up to the truth. And what happened to me was, obviously, if you're watching my show, it's through the Bible, and I found Jesus and all that. And I'd like to, go over that if there's questions on how that works. But in the meantime, I wanted to, how could he click? I want to start with this, because I was reading Isaiah the other day, and this prayer came about. And I thought it'd never be more timely than right now. And I want to start my show with it and say, in that day thou shalt say, O Lord, I will praise thee. Thou wast angry with me. Thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For the Lord Jehovah is my strength and my song, and he has also become my salvation. Therefore with joy shall you draw the water out of the wells of salvation. In that day shall ye praise the Lord, call upon his name, declare his doings among the people, make mention that his name is exalted. Sing unto the Lord, for he hath done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitants of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee. In the name of Jesus, amen. And I thought that was a beautiful prayer, because that's literally what we need to do as we find ourselves in a dark time that nobody that in existence right now has seen such a dark time come upon the earth. And so if dark forces are working, there's also light forces at work. Because if you listen to the stories of the Bible, a third of the angels fell down, and they became the fallen ones that are in charge of basically screwing with you and your family for generations. But we forget the other part of that equation. 2/3 didn't. So we outnumber them. In addition, we're working through God, through his only begotten son, Jesus, who has power and dominion over everything. The earth, the animals, the humans, the angels, the demons, Satan himself. He has the power over it all. That's the whole idea. That's why he's so important. That's why when they took his life and he did nothing for it to be taken, it's a blank check so that any of us can use it. That's what this is all about. Nothing about religion. Okay, let's get into the show. Let me stop this and we'll go here. I have to start with this because I promised if my friend Rose is watching, I don't know, but I'll always let her know that I mentioned her. But she sent me this, and it's just fantastic. I mean, I don't know what to say. So I'll speed it up, make it even funnier. But basically, it's some kind of, I think it's a court hearing with a judge and all that. You can tell it's a judge because see the dead skull he has of the animal, that carcass that he killed. Anyways, and then whoever this guy is, he's pleading for something because they're trying to rob his pockets of something. I don't know. But the funny one is this guy. It's a guy. I'm not saying he's my age. Obviously, he's way older. But he started a Zoom meeting and he hit a filter of a cat and has no idea how to get rid of it, even though he's trying. And that's what makes it funny. I don't. Hang on. Did you guys hear audio? Shoot. Let's see. Hang on. You think I'd know how to do this show by now, but obviously not. Oh, you guys heard it. So I just shut that off for nothing. You hear me? Okay, wait. Well, I didn't hear it. There's something wrong with my settings. Clickety click. Microphone is there. Speakers are, test them. Yep, that's working. Then where is it? Oh, there you are. Let's try that. Okay, now let's see. Clickety click. We'll go back. Go back in here. Share this with audio. There. There. Okay. Didn't see or hear it, said but Big Bear. Okay, good. All right. You guys see it now? Is there a picture on the screen? It says sharing. So let's see here in the past. Let's see. Okay, I think I see it. We're good. Truth Seeker says, no bueno. Johnny Cool says, I guess hi. No, that's Mace about waving to Johnny Cool. Dog Big Boo says Johnny Cool. Did he just show up? Is someone targeted? Did Johnny Cool just make it in here? He's trying to slide in late, isn't he? Where is he? There.
I don't feel tardy.
And if it wasn't him, it was someone he was with that snuck in before him. Anyways, okay, where were we? Okay. Oh, Melanie was late too? Yeah, Johnny was late. Yes. Okay. Haha, he thinks he's so cool. He's got the name Johnny Cool. He thinks he can slide in late. That ain't happening. Not on the fans watch. All right, so here we go. Did I just call myself in the third person of a name that's not even me? Here we go.
In the video settings.
Can you hear that? He said video settings. Okay. Hey, Grandpa Bear. Let's see. Anybody? You got kisses to Johnny from the Truth Seeker. Is anyone got audio besides the silliness in the chat? What's happening here? Yeah, I know everyone's late. We get it, Melanie. Okay, come on. Can you hear this?
You might want to.
I'm just
can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it.
Melanie says there's no sound. DJ said audio is good. I'm so confused, everyone. Okay, yes, you all heard the cat. Someone tell me here.
Melanie can never hear.
Melanie never hears anything. No. Okay, good. I'm moving on with this.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to the
Oh, anyways, wow, that went on forever. But anyways, isn't that great? Yeah. So thank you, Rose. I screwed it up, but still funny, still hilarious, I think. What's next? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw this in the chat. Clickety click. This is you guys wonder what I watch. This is one of the guys I watch quite a bit. He's a Russian man. His name's Vlad, and he did this thing, and it says that it's about relationships or specifically marriage. But I'm put over here in Rockfin too. See how far back Rockfin is written? That's funny. Okay, let's get back over to where you guys are. He did this thing, and it says it's for warfare and marriage. But I'll tell you something. Anybody that has any kind of relationship with a family member or a friend or anything, or even within marriage, this information that he talks about with this water thing, I think is helpful for everyone. And so I put in the chat for you all to watch later, because I'm not going to do his show. He's got a bunch of people that watch him, and I find him, a lot of his sermons I find interesting. And so this one I highly recommend to check out. And so I put it in the chats, and you should see it there. Okay, and if I'll put it in the show notes if I remember, whatever that is, description. Sometimes the chats disappear. So, you know what happens sometimes? I'll play a video, and a lot of times it's these like 10-second videos, and then it'll get a strike. And then if you want to take it out, the chat disappears. So I'll try to remember to put things in the description. It's just difficult for my brain. But moving on, this story fascinated me. It's obviously the first of its kind because it tells you right there. May the 4th be with you. So this was yesterday. And a Boston doctor performed the first of its kind brain surgery on a baby in the womb. It was 6 weeks old. And so they had to do something. I read it up. That's some damn good English there. My English teacher should be proud. So, but it's basically with some kind of defect that they had to do that dealt with like arteries that bring in the high blood pressure. I don't know. You can read it if you want. But my main takeaway is they said everything came out perfect. And I think it's if science can do this, that is a miracle. And that's why when people say, "Are you anti-science?" No, surgeries and certain things that can save a life. Hey, I understand that. However, it's 6 weeks old. It's never been done before, and they're claiming victory. And so, you know, I don't know how long before you would actually be able to see if they were victorious. So, I guess the only reason I'm bringing it up is that people think that people that are against different types of medicines and pharmacies and pills and things like that are against everything. All medicine is bad and stuff. But that's the straw man argument again. It's just like they do with Bible people and stuff. They pick one argument, they make it up, and they fight you on it. Same thing with if you can see buildings that are buried in mud or look like evidence of melting, they'll make a straw man argument and fight you over it. But the whole idea with this is science is now saying, look, they're taking victory laps of what they did. What they did is they went into the womb. They did something that, fixed an artery that potentially helped this baby, but they don't know if they actually helped it or not until when. I don't know. And so I guess my point was just like, it's so easy for them to just like take a victory lap with no evidence of something that it actually did. It worked. You know what I mean? Because this is the first time it's ever been done. And so there's a lot of things that can go on, and maybe it'll be perfect. And I pray for that. I mean, obviously the parents and the baby, that would be great. I'm just saying, it's just amazing how easily that we can just, take everyone their word for it because they're wearing the white coat. But meanwhile, I see why, you need really good brain surgeons, because you have grandfathers like this gentleman. And but he grew up in the generation of, oops, but just walk it off, kid. Just walk it off. It's fine. See, you okay? Don't tell mom. We're good. Let's keep dancing. The problem is he passed out. And it's sad because it ends there, and I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure he's fine. If over 3 million people watched it, I'm sure he's fine. I mean, look, this is him smiling probably. So, anyways. Okay, what's next? Let's have something really funny. This is getting sad. Okay, this is funny. We talked about him last week. And yeah, Jen, you did do a study. Jen has a new show, by the way, or a new segment on her show. Jen, the Truth Seeker. That's where I show up every other Friday when I can't be here. I'll be over there. And so if you don't see me on a Friday, go look over there. But they did a show, her and Chapu, and they did a thing. What is it called? It's called Something Ain't Right. And she did one on Bruno Mars yesterday, I think it was. And it's interesting because here's the take on that. It's not bashing any kind of people. In fact, it's the opposite. There are things going on in Hollywood where they're purposely trying to deceive you by swapping gender. And it's not about the gender swap at all. Because actually, so far, everyone I know, including myself, is now experiencing that in their own family. It's not about that at all. What it is about is the confusion that they put into Hollywood, specifically music, Hollywood, anything with acting and singing, your handlers, of not letting you know who's who. It's the deception that needs to be exposed. Because if they want to transition to whatever, he, she, they, that's fine within this society. It's acceptable, it's fine. But it's the deception of pretending that they're not doing it when they're the ones pushing the agendas on our children. Did I say pushing? I feel it's a little bit pushed. I feel it's a little excessive when a very minuscule percentage of the entire world's population, is experiencing this. But it's growing exponentially. Why? Because they're doing things where they're allowing our children to make decisions without us. 12 years old, and whatever, in school. And getting the parents uninvolved and doing things on the secret. And that's what this is about. It's not about if someone chooses to do that or not. It's about the fact that it's being used as a weapon against our children. And it connects exactly to this, which was sent to me by, again, another one of the fans. Sorry. I don't want to be like a Bieber person. What is that? He had Biebs or something. Was this. See, that's how you can tell it's an agenda. What if teachers secretly started to baptize children at school and hid it from the parents? Is that okay? Because how many people that would not be allowed? See, there's a separation of church and state, and they had to get God out of where? They had to get him out of the courtrooms, even though you're supposed to swear in on him. And that's another funny thing. Some people think you swear in with your left hand on the Bible, and some people think you swear in with your right hand. Some people think that that's one of those quantum effects. You can find it both ways. So it's very confusing. A lot of Hollywood does one hand, but you do it with the other hand. And to be honest with you, I can't even tell you anymore. And now it doesn't even matter. They swear in on Qurans. They swear in on children's books, I think. I don't even know. Does it even matter? What are they swearing to? If you even read the Bible, you're not supposed to take an oath with a man. They don't even read it. They put their hand on it and they swear an oath. To what? The court, to the United States, to the Bible, to what? Anyways, I digress. I don't know, Chris M. You think it's the right hand? So, and isn't that an as above, so below? You put the right hand on the Bible and one up to, but some people say left hand. I don't know. I forget. But yeah, where are we at? And I swear I can't. This is just cranberry juice. But this stuff sometimes gets to me. And all these screens get to me too. I told my wife yesterday when I was preparing for the show, I was up here for quite a while and I had to just put everything down and walk outside. There's a tone. This is all about energy. This is all about vibration. There's a tone. And it comes through the screens. It comes through the headphones. That's why never, ever, ever would I recommend you wear those things that are basically Wi-Fi towers plugged into your head all day long. It can't be good for you. It can't. Everything I have still has a cord attached, and that's by design. I can't wear those. And what's funny is my wife, she started to feel it too, and so she went and ordered some regular wired ones. No, now you know what they are? The wired headphones are still wireless now with a wire for people because they kept losing them. So you actually have to get like almost on an eBay, an old iPhone the cord that came with it is the only place you can find them now. But yeah, I'm not big on that electronics all around my head. And it's worse with the news. Like when you do the news, I was having to watch some different thing for you all. That's what I do for you all. And I got physically ill, like felt like throwing up, and I had to run downstairs. And you all know what I'm talking about. There's a noise that comes out. You can walk into a room, not even know what's happening, and know there's some kind of sporting event on. Then if it's golf, you can sense that one over, say, football, right? You can hear when the news is on versus, say, The View. I don't know why I went like that. But you know what I'm saying? There's a tone. They agree. There's a tone, the subliminal tone that goes through this stuff. I mean, think about it. It's even in the radios. You can't hide from it. Why? Satan's the prince of the airways or the air. Same thing. Come on. Let's figure this out together, people. Okay. Let's see. So what do we got? Everybody agreeing with me? I hope so. Yes, Jen is. Satan's the prince of airways. Air. Okay. What else do we have? Well, let's finish these songs. I'm on this. What is this? Oh, wait. There's some in the beginning. Let's look. Okay. Yeah, that one's easy. So, and that's what it originally was. This is tied to a story where Moses, when the people were getting bitten by serpents and getting sick and dying. And so there was a staff, and this is all by God. Moses was just a tool for God. And he put a snake on it, and if you touched it, then you would heal from these bites. And then the modern one that we have now, the caduceus, actually has two snakes going in opposite ways and wings on it. And that one represented commerce. So that should tell you everything you know about our modern medicine. Yeah, this was these are old. You know what? I was clearing up a file, and before I got rid of it, I wanted to make. A lot of times, I used to make videos, and I'd put these memes to music and stuff, and I didn't want to get rid of them before I used, or at least had them on a stream. So here they are, in case you have seen them. This one's telling. What's interesting is, no matter what side you are on say the abortion thing, when you wake up to the existence of God, you choose a side. There's just you don't have a decision anymore. And that's what I found with God. When there are decisions that are just too difficult for me to figure out, he just takes them away. And he took that one away. That's not even a question. You just can't. So, all right. So we covered that. This was interesting. This gentleman wrote, which one scares you more? Here's two articles from the New York Times. The first one, in 1989, describes entire nations could be wiped off the face of the earth by the rising sea levels if the GW trend is not reversed by the year 2000, a senior UN environmental official says. So We obviously somehow we dodged that crisis. I don't know, because we obviously didn't learn, but somehow we survived until now. Breaking news, same company. Earth is likely to cross a critical GW threshold within the next decade unless drastic changes are made, a major UN report says. And that was just, last month. So buckle up, people. Who said that this morning, earlier in the show in the music? Buckle up, people. Yeah. So, and the New York Times is not wrong because, oh, wait, what? Never mind. So, anyways, oh, I pulled this folder and why is this on here? Okay, I'll put a call out. Send me an email if you can find a can of this. It's probably horrific. It's probably it'll probably give me botulism. Oh my God. When I was a kid, there was nothing better because apparently I found out I was a lot of times a latchkey kid. I didn't even know what it meant. But so this saved my life a lot of times. You could have this, for dinner. And it was already made. It's not like the stuff that, sorry, everyone, you're going to have to listen to this. It's not like the stuff you get like Manwich where you have to make your own. That's probably way better. This stuff tasted just like fast food. Like if you like beefaroni and ideas, it's that kind of idea. Well, they stopped making it. And I was looking it up and there's like labels for sale. It's so funny. But but what I did take away from this, the reason I took a picture of it, not just for the memories, but I can see the what's in it, and so maybe I can recreate it. I obviously don't have polysorbate 80, but I'd probably find something close. And so maybe I can find polysorbate 60 or something. I don't know. 80 sounds pretty expensive. And in caramel coloring, we can just figure that. But other than that, of course, there's always the sodium caseinate. But that's what really gave it its flavor. So, and I'm not quite sure what beef heart meat is, but got to get me some of that. Okay, let's get off of this. Sorry, everyone. Well, you know what? In my defense, I'm gonna betray that she had candied spam the other day. She made it herself. But you know what? There's certain meals that just make you remember being a kid. And in the day and age that we're living in right now, sometimes it's nice. And if the only way that you can get back to that memory is through a food, bon appetit, I say. Eat up, Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe. What's that song by Adam? Excuse me, all. I just watched a documentary on marijuana. I think all documentaries should be watched this way. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty funny. Okay, what else? And this one I put up because we were watching my grandson today, and they're having a discussion, and my mother-in-law was saying, well, yeah, they didn't have the crazy, kind of safety seats and stuff, and of course I had the exact picture for it. So, and sometimes she watches this, so yeah, so that was a safety seat for for our children. And my folks, we had the one with that car. It was like a station wagon back, and you could actually lay out in it. So like on long trips, we would lay out there and sleep on the drive, where you could look out and stare at the cars behind you. It was fun. Anyways. Please be as weird as me. Please be as weird as me. Please be as weird as me. Every time I meet someone. Right, Aaron? She sent me that. See, I get things from my fans. All right, what do we got here? This one, if you haven't seen it, is one of my favorite ones. U.S. appears to be mutating into Gotham City. Anyways, yeah, the joke writes itself. There's nothing needed here. I thought this was interesting in the census of where people have been fleeing from and to. So if you transitioned, not that kind, but if you transitioned where you lived during the last, few years because of the stuff going on, do you fall into that? There you go. So I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, dog named Boo. We never had seatbelts either. And I get it. My wife and I've had this discussion about seatbelts before. And when you think about it, yes, I can see how seatbelts and even airbags have saved lives within accidents. I understand that. The issue that I have is the mandate, forcing people to put it on, even if they choose not to. Because if they choose not to, they're taking a risk on their own health, period. But to force someone to do something against their will, it just seems wrong to me. And I was watching one of the Auditor channels that we watch, and he said something very interesting. If the law, because they force it on you with the law, if it was about saving lives, then, and not about revenue, because every time they see you drive by without it, they can pull you over and get all kinds of revenue. Then they could check your speed, they could go through your car, they could whatever. Not saying that all cops are bad. I'm just saying those are all revenue streams. They have to prove their worth or they'll cut the department. So if you write no tickets and find no bad guys and all you did was just sit around all day and you're starting to get their wise to, you're going to have to come up with more tickets. And so a seatbelt is a perfect way of pulling somebody over. So to mandate it and say that it's to save lives, then why do they allow motorcycles on the highway? And he had a very valid point. In fact, when I was a child, it was weird. You even had seatbelts popping up in every car, but not the bus. And they used to tell us, oh, well, because it's safer. And I used to think, really? In a giant metal tube with a questionable bus driver, although I've known two beautiful, wonderful bus drivers. They're excellent. But, some could be questionable. And in a snowy road in a big metal tube that's going to start spinning. I just saw kids like in a big, tumbling washing machine or dryer, you know what I mean? But I was a kid. I couldn't stand up and say, what about say plus whatever? We didn't use them originally. So I just thought that was weird, Seatbelts are mandated except on buses. Now I think they are now because everything's on lockdown now. They took out all the fun things in the what do you call it? The playground, right? We had that big metal thing. Everything was metal too. So in the summer, at least out where we live, you couldn't touch it. You couldn't go near the slide in the top of summer. I mean, you literally would burn yourself. And and there was sand everywhere, of course. And let's see, we had the monkey bars that you could climb, and then of course, I call it the wheel of death. But it was here, let me get off of this screen share for a second. How do we do that? Where are you? Let's see. We'll go like that. There. It was that thing that spun around. Here, I'll pull one up. What were those called? Merry-go-rounds? Maybe. What are those called, dear? Merry-go-rounds? Those things that spun around the playground? You don't know. Yeah, okay. I got one. Yeah, that's a good. Oh, this one's even better. We'll go with this. Let's see. No, that one actually is. That's better. That's the one. Okay. Let's see. Clickety click. Share screen. Let's see. It's over here. This one. This is exactly like the ones we would play on. And, rusted metal, sharp corners. And so what you would do is you would stand here, or if you were, if depending on how many of these bars, a lot of them, some didn't have this many. And if you could hang on or lean against one, then of course you'd have one maniac kid. He was always like the strongest kid and probably close to becoming a serial killer if there exists. And he would spin this thing so fast. And if you were lucky, you could get off in the beginning. But you had two choices. You had to hang on for the whole thing and get really sick and hope that he stopped spinning it because, it doesn't take much for him to spin it. Or you had to try to do the death jump and hope that you clear the bars and tuck and roll. And so if you ever got stuck on one of these ones, you learned, you saw people coming up to him, if that you didn't know, you'd get off. At least I did. And then this is kind of the way I see the world we live in. So if you're on this and this thing is spinning, let's say the news, CNN, Fox, whoever you're, poisonous TV show is. Everything is fear, fear, fear. Everything's coming to kill you. You'd be afraid. Meanwhile, if you're standing over here going, wow, that looks all fake, and I'm so glad, you're off of the thing, and you can see it's no bueno, as Steve would say. So, anyways, that was with the toys that we played with, and we would drink out of hoses. Not anymore. So, how do we stop sharing that one? Clickety click. See, now we're really off on a tangent, as they would say. Squirrel. So, holy cow, what do we got this? Okay, I looked over at Rockfish. Hi, Rockfish. Let's see. Null hypothesis. $10. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Howdy, always love to hear about your take on this crazy world. Miss Jen on Rockfish. Yeah, we're talking to her. I can get her. She's over there. She just doesn't want to deal with it, but we'll see. We'll try to get her back over there. We'll figure it out. But at least you can see her, because I do put up the show that I do with her on the other Fridays. So she's there too. But, okay, where were we? Let's see. Did we finish those pictures? Let me go back and see if we're done there. Let's see. Oh, no, we got more. What do we want to do? Oh, I would know. I wanted to show this one. I think this is funny. Clickety click. Get on there. Okay. Where is it? Oh, I forgot to click this button. That's why I can't find it. It is that one. There we go. Okay. Sorry, we're figuring this out live. All right. Here we go. Okay, so we were covering that. This one. The only reason I screenshot this, I was watching an Auditor, and this person's name I thought was just hilarious. The name of their avatar is Bad Cop No Donut, and it looks like a couple of cops surrounded by donuts. I don't know. It just made me laugh, and when things make me laugh, I bring them up. I'll tell you one that did really make me laugh. I actually think that I call this. There's been many Auditor videos that my wife and I have enjoyed, and some are just top notch. But this one, I think, where is it? I think this one was perfect. Excuse me. Perfect from start to end. This Auditor, Long Island audit, and it already has been viewed. It doesn't say on here. Oh, here. Oh, almost the magic number. 664,000 views in 5 days. 20,000 almost comments, including one by yours truly. Make sure if you see this, like that one. You'll probably have to look for it. It was 5 days ago. But what made this so perfectly? Oh, what did I say? I bet it was witty. Wow, this video was perfect from beginning to end. Thank you for standing for a right, Sean. God bless. Oh, that was boring. It's not even funny. Okay, but here's what he did. He went to this motor vehicle, and where is it? Okay, he goes to this motor vehicle, and where is it? Now, I don't know if he went in prior to this or not, but where this video starts, he doesn't even get past this corner, and this thing comes and is yelling at him.
Yeah. And not record. There's a sign right here.
Like he didn't even turn around the corner, and then she gets all in his face, and just angrily.
Why are you getting so upset?
And slams the door.
Excuse me, ma'am. Why are you getting so upset?
And there was another Auditor. My wife will remind me who it was. He made a joke one time, and he said, when someone slams the door, it hurts the person they're slamming it into. It hurts the other person. So that really, she got him with that door slam. But that's how it starts. And then if that's not enough, then this gal comes over. She's security.
Officer Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to be
Officer Gonzalez, I could use a little less of that attitude you got there.
She's telling you to
You're
stop,
acting a little bit
respect.
extra. Yeah,
Respect what she's telling you.
Okay.
Do you
How does
come
that?
here? Are you going to take a test?
How does respect equate into what I'm doing?
Because she's telling you to turn.
So she just goes off on him in his face, and then it escalates from there. These two show up.
I'm just taking some pictures and video, and Officer
Well, that's
Gonzalez
the same one.
and some other people seem to not like that a lot. So
Now tell them it's against the policy of the motor vehicle.
Well, this is private property, sir.
this is not private property.
This is private property.
This is not private property.
Yes, it is.
So now, I mean, everything about this video is textbook, okay? First off, he barely gets there, and they tell him you're not allowed to record. He's in public. You're allowed to record anywhere your eyes can see in public. That's just the way it is, period, end of story. It's amazing not only how many, government people don't know that. I mean, if you're at Disneyland, you don't tell everyone to stop. I'm about to take a picture. Everyone move away if you don't want to give me your consent. It's madness. In addition to that, he gets a cop that comes up and says, you're on private property. It's the motor vehicle committee. It's paid for by taxpayers. It's a public lot where you can park your car and go into a public building. And the fact that he doesn't even understand that, that's what's so maddening. See, we're waiting for the purge. It's already happened. They're not training our police. I mean, I'm not body shaming, but dear Lord, what could he possibly do? He's going to shoot you or tase you. He can't chase you. I worry about him. If he got into a struggle and he fell to the ground, I'd probably worry about him more than whoever he was struggling with. I'm just saying, it's madness that they don't even know what they're talking about, and they're the police.
It's private property.
It's not private property.
It is private.
I looked up the surveys before I came here, and this is not private property. No, the state. This is owned by the state of New Jersey, which
It's
means that
private
it's.
property.
Which is private property.
You're saying that the state.
Motor vehicle is part of this private property.
No, it's owned by the state, which means that it's public property, sir.
It's not
I think
public
that's
property.
ridiculous that you would say that this is private property when it's
This
owned
is
by the.
private property.
It's who's it owned by?
Doubling down.
The state.
State, yes.
Okay,
But
so
so you saying any place in the state you could go there?
yeah,
Go there?
any state property that's not restricted, yeah, I can go
Well,
there.
she's saying it's against their policy for anybody to be.
Yeah, it's against the policy.
So, ma'am, let me get this straight. This doesn't make any sense because Officer Gonzalez, you call him because I'm in supposed.
Call him, the supervisor.
Okay, the supervisor called him because I'm in supposed violation of a policy. You're not policy enforcement, sir, right? You don't enforce policies. You're a law enforcement.
Yes.
I'm not breaking any laws.
Well, this is private property. That's why.
This is not private property. It's scary that you would think that this is private property, sir. Really. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Yes, right here with us. Yep.
Withers?
Yes.
Thank
Okay, now, if that wasn't enough, you guys liking this so far? Thank you, Long Island All. I'm going to put his link in the chat, too, of this episode, because it truly is just a perfect episode. And some of my auditor friends, maybe they know him, they'll tell him that I talked about it. And but if that wasn't enough, I mean, already this was plenty, 6 minutes in, but that's not even the star of the show, because she's just arrived straight from her manicure, this beautiful woman that's coming up to take charge of the scene.
you. Hi, how are you, ma'am?
And I also love that she chews gum, because nothing is more professional than a law enforcement officer chawing away at gum.
Your name and badge number, please?
Yes, right here with us. Yep.
Withers?
Yes.
Thank you. Hi, how are you, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Sure, I'm Officer Maloney. Can you take your hands out of your pockets for my safety?
Take your hands out of your pockets for my safety. Now, the gentleman is standing there with no weapon, a cell phone in his hand, or, a few cameras, I believe he has. Meanwhile, we've got go get him. We've got a Glock, which was at like 30-some bullets there, at least 2 more clips. She can kill probably, if they're close enough, say 90 people. I don't know. In addition to her taser. And she's wanting him to do things for her safety. In addition, don't forget the guy from Die Hard's over here, this guy, and he's jacked up with stuff. He can't carry quite as much because there's no room. But so she says, take your hands out of your pockets for her safety.
Sir,
It's a little chilly out here. I don't have any weapons on me.
Sir, can you check them? Because I don't know what.
You cannot just.
Now, that's another beautiful moment. Go ahead and get him. Well, the dogs are going after some squirrel. Here she is. I just described the amount of lethal force that she has and the 6 months training that she has taken to use it. Hopefully her gun is nowhere near the same color as her taser, because that's happened before apparently. But she is ready to go, including she's got her gum chewing ready to go to spit it in your eye, I guess, if need be. I would think you might choke on it in something. Oh, she also has mace. Look at that. And then when she wants the gentleman frisked, she points, and I'm not doing it. I'm not a feminist basher or anything, but she asks for the man to help her.
Take your hands out of your pockets for my safety.
Oh, my hand in my pocket's not for your safety.
Yes, it is. It's for my safety, sir.
It's a little chilly out here. I don't have any weapons on me.
Sir, can you check them? Because I don't know what.
You cannot just check me. You can't do that. You can't go in my
Sir?
pockets. I don't consent to searches or seizures. Hey,
Sir, take your hands out of your pockets.
you can't tell me to take my hands on my pocket. It's not against the law to keep my hand on my pocket. It's cold out here. It's a little windy
I don't know
out
if
here.
you have a weapon.
I don't.
Show me
I'm
your
telling you I
hands.
don't. I'm not going to show you my hands, man, because it doesn't. That's not against the law. You can't just search people. What's wrong with you?
I don't feel safe.
Officer Maloney, just trying to go in my pockets.
Nazi Germany. It's right there. It's right there. Officer safety. She's just going to go start frisking a guy who's just standing there. And you think that's it. But after that, he has another conversation with Die Hard, another conversation with her. And we ain't done. And why did I start talking like that? Because Pappy shows up.
Hey, Sergeant.
Handle everything.
How are you, Sarge? Hey, Sarge, if I can speak to you for a minute. Thank you.
His hands out of his pocket. I don't know
Well,
what
that
he
you
has.
gotta
Won't
do for
take
my
his hand
safety.
out of his pockets. Squawks the officer from behind. Meanwhile, this guy's obviously doing very well as a sergeant, because I don't know what these crazy kind of looking Christian Dior things are. They look amazing on him. I'm worried about him getting in and out of his car too. So, but yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Hey, Sergeant. How are you, Sarge? Hey, Sarge, if I can speak to you for a minute.
He won't
Thank
take
you.
his hands out of his pocket. I don't know
Well,
what
that
he
you
has.
got to do for my safety. And
My
if
safety.
Sir.
you want to speak to me, take your hand out of your pocket so I know I'm safe and you're safe.
But, sir, you have 5
I
officers
don't
here.
care. It doesn't matter. I've done this for a long time. They're asking you to take.
But you
your
can
hand-
see that I don't have
can't
any
see.
weapons.
I can't.
Yes, you
see.
can.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
No,
Does
I
that
can't.
look like? Does that
Well,
look?
just show me your hand. Then.
But no, but it's a power
I'm not
thing.
going to entertain that.
It's a
part of it.
power thing. It's a
Not
power
thing.
thing.
I'm asking to see your hands the way you can
And
see.
you
mine.
can see what's in my
No, I
pocket.
can't.
You can
I'm
out.
not asking to see what's in your pocket. I'm asking to see your hand.
So if I
All right, everyone, come on. This is a perfect video. It's amazing to me that you couldn't write this comedy. This guy is an honest to goodness caricature of what a small town cop in New Jersey that thinks that they own the place. You know? Now, if he's from Die Hard and he's from, he's the sheriff in, what was that, First Blood, right? That's what he thinks he is, with his Apple Watch and his titanium ring and his the Christian Dior glasses.
took my hand out of my
There you go.
pocket and
So
then I
now-
put
there
my
you
hand
go.
back in my
Well,
pocket.
If you want to put it back in your pocket,
That
I'm gonna
makes no
pat the
sense.
outside of your pocket to make sure there's nothing in there. So do you want to take your hand out of your pocket, or would you like me to pat?
I
your
would like.
pocket
I don't.
so
I
we
don't.
can
I don't
talk?
consent to any searches and seizures. I would
I'm
just like
not
to speak to
searching
you.
or seizure. I'm not taking anything from you. I'm going to make sure I'm safe. They're safe. we're all
Everybody's safe. What is wrong with you? Everybody is
Nothing
safe.
wrong with me. You asked to talk to me.
Yeah, and
so
I'm
now I'm here to.
and
talk
I'm here
to
to complain. Excuse me. Let me speak, please.
complain. I'm, not
I'm
gonna,
here.
I,
I'm here
I'm
to
not
issue
gonna
a
listen
complaint.
Until I see your hand out
I'm-
of your pocket.
I'm here to issue a
I'm not
complaint
listening
for the
that
same
until
exact
you take your
thing.
hand out of your pocket.
Let me speak to your
No,
supervisor.
I am my supervisor.
No, you're
I'm
not.
I am my supervisor. He's about to break into the song "I'm My Own Grandpa," right?
The road supervisor.
No, there's
Yes, you
there's a
are.
lieutenant above you.
No, he's on the desk. He's not on the road. So if you want to go inside, we can go speak to him.
You are giving off a horrible example for your police
I'm not
department.
giving a horror.
Because my
asking you to
hand is in
keep
my
your hand
pocket.
out here so I know everybody's safe. I don't know
Everyone
you.
is
You don't know
safe.
me.
I don't know you, but yeah, you have a gun. He has a gun. He has a weapon.
With it.
Okay.
My hand's not near my gun. So all I'm asking
It doesn't
you to
matter.
take
I don't have a weapon. It doesn't matter. So you should be able to call people. You should be able to talk to people that have their hand in their pocket.
That's not one side. If you want me to pat it, and then I can be sure there's nothing in your
I don't
pocket.
consent.
Okay. Well, but then I'm not going to speak to you till I know what's going on. So what's the deal with? Is he here for any testing? Okay.
He's just walking around recording. I've been asking him if he refused to answer.
Okay.
Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Sure. It's Sergeant Dayon.
My name is
DAYON 1138.
Sergeant Dayon. My name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story here at the Motor Vehicle Commission.
For what? Do you have their Do you have their permission to be here? Did you
I don't need their
supervisor?
I don't need their permission to be here. This is public property.
It's not public property in that sense.
It is
No,
public
it's not.
property.
It's public property if you're here to conduct business.
Oh, it's
if
public.
not, they can tell people they don't want to service them or they can't be on the
No,
property.
they can't do that.
Yes, they can.
They can't do that.
Yes,
You're
they
wrong.
can.
I've spoken to the Motor Vehicle
Well,
Commission.
we're going to go speak to their supervisor since they're on their way. We'll find out. If they don't want you on the property, you can go film from off their property.
This is public property,
It's not
sir.
public property.
It is
in
public
that sense.
property.
It's public so everybody can come
This
here.
is
Look, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I would love to. It goes on and on about like who's on first. But then they start to realize, and she gets really frightened. Every time he walks anywhere close to where she's standing, she backs up into this position, and you can see the tension in her arms. Like she's ready for battle. Look at, she's flexing and everything. It's nuts. But they start to realize that their position is wrong. And they realize that they screw up. But there's a great
I didn't come here on my own merit.
Yeah.
I came here because we were called here.
You
because the
came here.
public is scared
Okay, that's fair enough.
of you.
No one's scared of me.
Oh,
Ma'am,
okay.
you came here for a call, right? I'm here exercising a constitutionally protected
Okay,
activity.
fine.
That's your
But-
job to
but it's
uphold
not-
that.
But it's not
That's your job to uphold
harass
that.
us
I'm not
and
harassing
argue
you.
with me.
I think we should ask that. If you all, at the end of this, if you decide you feel compelled to contact this police department, as many people have, ask them if that's like, is they all chew the same gum? Is it like department issued? Do they get it like, is it taxpayer money that's buying their gum? Is it sugar free? Is it, what do you call it? Is it done safely for the environment? You know, that one too. So I'm just curious as to what gum they all chew.
I think your logic is flawed. You came up to me and said, "Get your hand out of your pocket." The video will speak for itself.
Okay.
The
See,
video
now
will
she's
speak
in
for
the
itself.
mode.
You came up to me and said, "Get your hand out of your pocket." I didn't say, "Ma'am, take that gun off your holster," did I?
Okay.
Okay.
For my safety, take that gun off your holster immediately, right? I didn't.
But there's one other thing. This lady, does she look in fear of her life? That's the whole thing. They were worried about his safety. So yeah, so it continues on. But the funniest part is he says, "Oh, we got like 10 followers that are going to see this." Meanwhile, this video is already racked up, like I said, over 500,000 views, and it's been only a week. So so yeah, didn't plan on doing a whole audit show there, but I find that fascinating. So I'll tell you what I'll do. It's a perfect time. I hope you all like that. It's a perfect time. I'll show you what I did this week, and me and Sarah, and then I can keep talking. All right. Here it is for your entertainment. All right. Let's see.
The ceiling fans are very attractive.
Well, it's another man day, you can tell. Ow. And most of my life is just moving piles of wood around. I gotta cut this tree down because we need to, whatever, it's fallen or whatever, and then you gotta cut it up. And so then you gotta move it, and then you gotta chop that or split it, and then you gotta move it again, and then you gotta move it again, and so on and so forth.
Same old song.
Previously on Preacher.
Well, started plowing the fields today. This is how far we've gotten so far. Today! Okay, so this is the area, the field that I plowed. And then we just planted some potatoes and things here in these rows. And then I just brought this down, which is just, well, it's basically dirt and fertilizer. And it was created by God and the chickens in fermentation. And so that's going to go help out this situation, and then we'll plant more, of course.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, that's what we have so far. We've got potatoes, we've got onions, garlic, more potatoes. So that's the farm so far, and we'll keep it going from here.
I think it was the very next day.
All right, this is actually one of the saddest days because I had to tear apart a lot of labor that I did to build these handmade boxes for the chicken coop. And I'm tearing them out because I made these new ones, and I had to remove all the boxes that we had here to make it fit, and then I'm going to have to redo this and hopefully get it all done before they need to come back. Because as John Wayne says in his pink scarf, we're burning daylight.
Let's go! We're burning daylight!
This is what I've got so far on my new chicken box. I live for scrap wood. Everything here was a scrap piece. And so now I'm going to put some kind of dividers in there, and then we'll try it out in the new location. I'm thinking I might put a top, maybe it opens and closes, but we'll see, because maybe I might even think about putting a second level. But we'll go with 5 boxes for now and see how that goes. Right? 4 boxes. I think we need another level. So some channels are best farmer ever, how to be self-sufficient, everything. I'm calling mine farming when you have no freaking idea what you're doing. So when you don't measure things, you realize you have this size right, but not this side. So I added an extension, which I actually really like, because it's an area they can walk and go into each individual box. And I'm going to fill this in with chicken bedding and put it in there and see what they think. All right, I put in a new step. It's much sturdier. So I made a few adjustments. This railing had a little bit of play to it, and so I had a chair out there was broken, so I took one of the arms and screwed that in, and it gave me more power here, because some of the ladies, they got a little bit of the Zoftic derriere, shall I say. And then I decided to add a ladder so they can walk. I'm going to remove these boxes, and they can walk through here, and then they can choose the box that they want. And then I put a little bit of privacy shelf. I might extend that because I'm thinking I might add some boxes either above or below. Oh, God.
Tom Hanks does that.
Okay, so we finished the box. I'm starting to disassemble these. I left a few because they still are using them until they're getting used to the new boxes, which I've got here. I increased the height. I brought it out, and I gave it privacy. And once I start using these, we'll take the rest of those down, and then we'll probably add some more down there. That's the plan, as long as the ladies go along with it. Right, ladies? They don't listen.
It's time for Ceiling Fan Man, and Sarah, and kisses, and tacos.
All right. They need to see you every week. Do something. Can you do something? That's it. See you next week.
Satellite tracking continues.
Don't blame me. She's the one that's not cooperating. I have the camera ready to go. So you try to get your cat to do things for a show. Good luck with that. Yeah, she was sleeping right here. So I feel all right. Oh, there. My wife was here when I did it. I was like, I haven't been able to get her to do anything, at least on camera. She likes to like.
Red Storm had a really great idea. You need to read his comment.
Okay, who?
Red Storm.
Let's see. Okay, if you put a flat top, they will sit and poop it up. Put a slant. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because, thank you, because we have a water thing. I was showing my wife that has this little like thing, and so I've realized I want to extend the privacy slots, and I was going to put some kind of almost like a teepee thing on the top. Because of the same idea with the I'm pointing over there, but it's out there. The water thing, exactly. So thank you, yeah. But it's havoc whenever you change things in the chicken coop. They're just like they're all a cluck-a-buck, if that's a word I invented. So thank you, though, Red Storm. So yeah, and I guess I haven't been looking at the chat too often. And Rebel Snarfle, I don't even know. I'm glad you liked it. I just like saying your name. So. Thank you, Rebel Snarfle. Okay. And Crazy John, Chill W Dog. See, here's the weird thing. I'll show you all, or I can look. If I go over on YouTube, what he really wrote, let's see. Wow, that chat's flying. What is going on? How are you here? Wow, it's trying to catch up. No, it's not worth it. I don't know why it's not working. I have a slow internet system. So. Okay, but in any case, it comes up. I don't know why it looks like that on my StreamYard. I have maybe an old version or something, or maybe my computer's too old. But regardless, thank you for that. See what dog. And Patty has 3 chickens. Nice. That is legit if you have 3 chickens. And Laura loves kisses and tacos. Yes, I don't show the tacos too much on the opening, but I do. That was, if you ever saw, there was that dude, he had his little dog, and he basically said that. And Jeff Kerwin, Jeff Irwin, Jeff something. You guys all know who. Anyways, but where are we at? And it's Cinco de Mayo. Whoops, I hit the wrong one. What is this? You can ask to do things. Wait until they decide to want to do it. Yes, with the cats. And you would know, speaking as a cat, right? But yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo, and no tacos. So, all right, where are we at? Let's see. Are we good? I think, nice. And now your kids are asking for tacos. Hey, were you listening earlier? My wife made candied spam. And so we thought of you because, you had that recipe that you made with that meat for my Samoa friends. Anyways, but yes, let's see what we're doing. Let's see where we at. Oh, Jeff Berwick. Thank you, Brad. Yeah. Who said tacos? Everyone right now. So, all right. I catch everyone. Okay. So let's see. Where were we at? Let's go back into, I kind of go off on a tangent on that whole thing there. Sorry. It just happens. It happens. Let's see. I'll look here. But you know what happens? You know what I do? Sometimes I'll just squat on the floor. I'll hug my heels, hug my legs, lean forward. But hey, that's just how I roll. That was way too long to set up because I had to find the button. See, Had I known I was going to get there, I would have found the button first. But anyways, that's you're here. We know why you're here. This isn't the show you wanted. It's the one you deserve.
I got nowhere else to go! I got nowhere else to go!
And no, we didn't have Spam with pork in it. No, that's a different type. It's a special, I think, Jewish blend. But, or maybe. Where were we? Let's go back into here. We talked about that. Oh, I know. I was way, way back here. Let me click over, get back to where we were. Hold on, people. I know it's around here somewhere. Okay, it's not that. So, where are you? Okay, there we are. Let's see. Present arms. Share screen. Entire screen. Clickety click. Okay. So I was showing you this gentleman, and he's all over the news lately saying that he didn't force anyone. But there's multiple places that he goes and tells you, you know, basically you have to do it. But he's not forcing, he's just encouraging. And then the reason that I was bringing this guy up again was I came across, like I said, I was cleaning out that one folder, and I found this video. Where is it? I found this video that I made. How long ago was this? 2 years ago, maybe? This is our guy not encouraging, not forcing you. This is our guy not forcing you. Maybe it's a year ago.
If you're vaccinated, you can do more things more safely, both outdoors as well as indoors. This is another great reason to go get vaccinated. Now. Getting together with friends, going to the park for a picnic without needing to mask up. So go get the shot. Go get your vaccination now. It's free and it's convenient. Now.
You will obey.
Satellite tracking continues.
Hey, so I hope you like that. What?
That's funny.
There's we were talking about Sarah, and funny thing right now, I'm looking at her and she's looking in a second floor window, and we don't have a second floor. We just have this loft. And so she climbed on some roof somewhere. So I think, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make sure that my wife's handling it, and I'll be right. What can I give you guys? I have to have something here. Here, you can look at dogs. I'll be right back.
tracking continues.
All right. Let's see. Where are you? Okay. Where are you? Well, she's still working on it, so I'll let you know. It's drizzly and cold, so it's not bad. She got up there one time right as a kitten, and it was hot out. It was right when we got her, and that got scary. So, but we'll get her down, or she'll come down. We'll figure it out, and I'll keep you updated. So, okay. Now where were we? Let's go back. Okay, so we played our guy, we played their guy. Let's see. Let me go. Get rid of that. Okay. Go here, go here. All right. Here we go. Okay. Share screen. Okay, we'll finish this stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. Where is it? This is the story of my life. Someone started showing me a video I seen. It's 9 minutes long. That's the face they'll make. Yeah. And it's funny when I got into YouTube, however you want to say whatever this is we're doing. Yeah, I see you, scary spaces. All right, we'll get there. Everyone's yelling. But you know, it used to be like a 5-minute video, 9-minute video was torture. But now, shoot, I eat up. If it's a good, you know, information, whatever, they can go hours. And so anyways, and let's see, I covered that. Enemies on Earth, friends in space. Yeah, in fact, we were supposedly now, not only are the ones that we announced we wanted to blow up the Russian pipeline, twice, the President of the United States even said it, and then it got blown up by sabotage, and yet now the new one is we supposedly are ones that that shot the Kremlin, I guess, right? They're saying it was us also. But meanwhile, everything's cool in space, so, because it's fake. 90-mile-an-hour winds, Earth spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. I think these photos speak for themselves in my mind. And we covered this one, but if you're not old enough to understand this, that there's actually two people here, well, don't worry about it. You have your scandals, we had ours. Okay, let me pause this here. We'll get off of this. Let's go into this. Clickety click. Go here, share audio, go up here. Oh, you wanted scary space news. Okay, but first, since it's Cinco de Mayo.
Got her.
Yay! Sarah's been captured. Close all the doors and give her a stern talking to. So she's home. Bring her up here if you can. Say hi. But since in the celebration of Cinco de Mayo, let's see. So yo tiene una. Oh, never mind. This is the proper way to fold a burrito, and I think this is information everyone needs. Because unless you've actually like worked at maybe a fast food where you do this, fold it partially in. Okay, that's the key. You know, I think I always try to tuck everything. But whoa, well, she's here. She's playing with my dog, but she just came by. Right? He gave her a talking to, Jeannie. That's funny. Okay, but in any case, he how you doing, Sarah? Don't do that, man. Anyways, the proper way to fold this is, see, he didn't tuck all the way. He's like halfway. Okay, so let's get to. Sorry, I've interrupted my burrito folding lesson for Cinco de Mayo, but you get what you pay for. Although some of you have, so I might have to make it better. See, he actually unfolded a little bit. Now he's bringing the bottom up. Okay. He folded it all the way. in the top, roll it, you're good to go. That's a burrito. Boom, baby, if Jen was here. Yeah, Laura Kay, now I'm hungry too. Are you making burritos? Yeah, we all needed this instruction video. I'm serious, Johnny Cool. What's wrong with the proper way to fold a burrito? I think it is. I'm all hungry now. Yeah, but there you go. If you need to know the proper way to roll a burrito. I'm going to be looking this over. Here, you want me to play it so I'm not talking through it? Well, then do your own show. What was this? This is a tweet from this one. Escribano, I believe. Say that. Oh, and he has 33.3 followers. Of course. Love this world we live in. What's next? Happy Cinco de Mayo. And if you're into that, besides eating, celebrate getting your daughter a little sing-along microphone. Okay, two things. The clip is hilarious. His face of this, like, it just, you could feel it penetrating his brain in a negative way. But when I played this clip, do you know what my phone did? It spun out and it said, I recognize the sound of a cat. And I didn't even know it did this. Of course, we all know they listen all the time. If you have Siri or if you have an Amazon thing in your house, they all listen all the time. And if you have a TV, if you have a microphone, if you have a camera, they all listen, okay. But my phone actually said, oh, I heard a cat, and notified me. And there's a section in your settings where you can find sounds that it listens for. It tripped me out. I mean, it's not that those things don't always trip me out. They do weird things. But this was a new weird thing it hadn't done. But yeah, so it did that. So, okay. What's next? Oh, this one. You know, my wife follows some of this guy named Bucket Hat. Oh, it looks like he just changed his picture. That's funny. But he had a perfect caption. Let's go get farted on. I mean, look at this restaurant. This just looks horrific to me on so many levels. Because not just what he said. Think about this. If you're dropping food, or maybe not drop food, what if you spilled your wine or whatever? It goes all over this person, okay? In addition to that, if you notice the way it's designed, it doesn't go all the way up on this slat. So if this person is looking this way, they're looking right up this person's skirt or whatever, potentially. Just everything about this restaurant just seems just terrible. Anyways. I like the fake grass on the ceiling, as above, so below. Okay, what's next? And there's, look, the yellow sun like I remember as a child, and the new white one that we get. Ooh, there's a lot of hidden meanings. Russian vintage, just check this out. Look, no, I'm kidding. Okay, what's next? I found this one interesting. Somebody named Vincent Kennedy. And here's the thing. I know we're deceived. Some things, I believe, were old buildings that have been destroyed, melted, flooded, whatever combination. And some things I think were petrified trees. And so this gentleman has quite an interesting video on it.
And for some reason, this shows the true color. A big chunk of this just fell off. See part of the grain. This is the way the fibers are right here. See? Hold on a second. And you see it's nothing but wood. Okay?
So I'll put this in the chat, but he goes on to show that whatever this substance is, it goes the entire length of the mountain, or whatever.
I'll show you that in a second. You come right here, and you see
it's all the same material. And the site, let's see. Where is it? I think it's here. Watch again. Yes, I'm trying to watch again. Nah. Picture go forward. Well, in any case, I'll Where is this? How do you send this thing? I could go here, copy. Now look for you all. Where are you? There's the chat. Go over here. Slap that in the chat. Get it there. Then I have to go to Rockfish. Put it over here. Paste it in there for the few people over there. Thank you very much for being over there. Man, excuse me. Get some more. This is tea now. Okay. Well, can't do that. They don't like people that identify as Jewish people rubbing their hands. It's never a good look. Hey, Zeus Scott. With the hat. Do I have a hat? No, but you know what? Check this out. My wife always says I talk about her too much. She's taken up looming. I'm super excited. Look at, she made this. It's her first looming project. She gave it to me. See? I said, could you put it like a gold star and some? No, I'm kidding. Isn't that great? So, yeah. I'm not sure what I'll do with it yet, other than show it off. But she's getting all kinds of things. Pretty amazing. She makes all of our stuff. If you ever want any of her stuff, write me and we'll figure it out. She makes all kinds of soaps and lotions and stuff. And in fact, if you're watching, Melanie, we need to work out a deal. Melanie makes a thing that we need to... Anyways, where are we at? Yes. Thank you. It is a lovely mug. Oh, you mean this. You mean this. But yes. Okay, where were we? Oh, hi, Ronald. Okay, what's next? All right, so that's just going to keep spinning, but I think I put it in the chat, so we're good there. This one I found interesting. I wanted to show you all that sometimes I'll put things up and I'll just have them in a file that I can look at later. I'll send like an email to myself. So that way I'll have it for a show, because sometimes if I'm not doing it, I'll save it for a week or even two if it's somewhat timely. And then sometimes even the same day, I'll put something and I'll come back to it later, like this tweet. And this tweet got suspended. And this happens a lot. I know everyone thought that the Savior came in and made it so you don't get suspended. But this person got suspended because they talked about something and they were questioning why things were done. And they were suspended for being racist because they questioned this. And I was able to find it. You can find it on mainstream, but the FBI, there was a thing that another one of these things that went down allegedly, and this one happened, and they were hunting this guy down. That's who the FBI was looking for, but they changed it and they made him look white. And so they said that they had to. I think I've even forgotten which one is the right one now. Yeah. So this is what he looks like. But to push the narrative, it's weird. So the original bulletin was be on the lookout for this guy, and then they had to retract it. And so the account I was trying to show you got suspended was just calling this out, and they called that guy racist. But it's interesting, you can show it if it's on, say, this article from Fox News, whatever that means, because that's what they did. And it's not the first time. It's kind of the first time that we've seen it, and it came from the supposed golden children of the FBI. But they did it, remember back in, if anyone's old enough to remember this, they got in trouble for this because they made him look blacker on Time Magazine. And so they actually got in trouble for the reverse of it, things. It's just, it's all just part of the circus. It's all just part of the stage. But just be aware that there is still a cancel culture, even within, Twitter, even though they say it isn't, that you can't talk about this unless you're, a big company, but you can talk about this. So anyways, get rid of this and this. Oh, here we go. Well, we've got to get out of this so we can. Everyone's been asking, everyone, all 5 of my fans. Here we go.
This week in scary space news.
Okay, scary space news. Here we are. Let's see. Entire screen. Clickety click. So this one, of course, how could you? It writes itself. The rocket carrying the NASA astronaut cremated remain. An astronaut, their cremated remains were actually going to go back up into space, not because it blew up within seconds of the launch, and in this ridiculous repetitive GIF. Anyways, so he didn't make it again. So I don't know. But anyways, moving on. At least they didn't blow up the whole landing pad like Tesla did. That was quite an event. But success, right? They all cheered success on the Tesla thing. The thing blew up the entire thing that the launch pad, and a bunch of cars and things got destroyed within miles. And the rocket blows up when it hits the firmament. But no, that's a success. Cool. Meanwhile, NASA's new black hole video is jaw-dropping. Well, okay, you had me at that sentence. I'm in. Let's check out their new video. So, of course, I look into these things, so you don't have to. That's part of my blessing. And then it's animation. And they tell you it's animation. All they did was, it's an artist's cartoon of the size differences of this gigantic black hole that they've mathematically now decided they exist and where they are, and none of it's provable, and all of this is just one giant cartoon. That's it, with all your money, and they throw a snake tongue at the end, and thank you very much. That was it. That's the only freaking thing. So most of the world is too busy to spend 5 minutes on this nonsense. We all, of course, know space exists. Star Trek and Star Wars all taught us that, including the teacher in the classroom points to the ball and says, "That's where you live. I'm 5 years old. Okay, teacher, I'll listen." So then you come home after a long day's work. You hardly got any time to do anything. Kiss the wife and the kids. Maybe there's a hot meal if you're blessed that way. You turn on the news or you look at your iPad, you scroll through the stories. NASA's new black hole video is jaw-dropping. You see that picture and you go, wow, that's amazing. And then you click and you go to the next thing and you look at sports. Or scientists say they finally solved Stephen Hawking's black hole paradox. You see, they just keep changing it. That's the thing. When you tell a lie, you never remember your lie. Or the technology gets more advanced to the point your lie is being exposed on so many levels that you have to keep dodging and jumping around and coming up with different things. So when enough holes got poked through this, now they say they finally solved it. And you can read through these ad nauseum articles, and they'll just throw a bunch of words at you. And in the end of the day, it's a theory. So their theory is expanding on his theory, and you'll never be able to prove it. That's the thing. They always say, prove your side. They can't prove shit for Shinola on their side. Moving on. And this is who's telling you how the universe works. This psyop. And I say it was a psyop. You can't understand what this guy's saying. And in the beginning, this guy spoke for him.
Interpret his failing speech.
So he says that, They put words down there, you can't turn them off, so they want you to think that's what he's saying. And then you get this guy.
See anything special if you passed inside the black hole.
So he speaks Stephen Hawking. And then, of course, after these years, it turns into a computer. They don't even let this guy talk at all, or they put in 2 or 3 different doubles because he's, shrinking. And it's just a computer voice, like running a Star Trek. And you don't know who's saying what. You have no idea. They could roll him out and he could be screaming in his head. They're using me as a puppet. I don't want to be here. Meanwhile, they're like, hello, everyone. I'm Stephen Hawking. You don't know. Prove me wrong. I'm sorry. They only had that machine for him and the guy from Star Trek. His only beep blue and green or one light, I think, beep. This guy can say whole sentences. First, it was by blowing a tube, and then it was literally by looking at something. They say he could look at something, and then sentences would come out. And his lag time is shorter than the moon calls. I'm telling you. But what do I know? I'm just a wannabe comedian on a wannabe TV show with a bunch of people that think like me, hopefully. Meanwhile, there is no such thing as a regular viral video, because you tell me why this video is not viral, and I'm going to make you watch it again, because it is unbelievable. I mean, a little bit of editing to put, it together. But my wife and I experienced this live, and we filmed it, and I find this quite hilarious.
All satellites operative, Captain.
You better.
Man, I gotta turn my camera off. I can't be on the screen while you do this. There. Not that one. Where'd you go? Here we are.
You better take a look at this radar.
Okay, come on, people. Now they're just literally dicking with us. For reals? They came out here to photograph the moon in the daytime. It's out more than it is at night. And they decided to spray a giant... Well, you tell me.
But it looks like a giant.
Come on. Come on.
What's coming out of it?
Come on, people. This is the clown. When are we going to wake up? What's this called? Shoot the moon. I think they're going to try to hide this now that I've exposed it. They've got one of their invisible planes. Wonder Woman is in this one. If I can focus. Focus.
Almost seems like there's a hand underneath the balls.
All right, well, let me look at that. That's a really cool, whatever that is. We won't be able to... Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. There's some cuppage. Definite cuppage. Hey.
Try to get them block the moon from getting spray on
What's going on? That's a moon condom.
It is a long, smooth shaft.
For those of you keeping score, the cloud cock, as we're now proudly calling it, has gotten larger, girthier, but still being held in a gentle caress by a little darker, just grayish cloud.
But with 2 balls.
Satellite tracking continues.
Come on, people. Let's see. Oh, how do we get out of the screen share? There you are. Come on. I don't know why I keep saying come on. And that thing, where is it? Oh, I lost it. But shoot, when did I? Was that last year? I'm trying to remember. Where is it? Let me find it again. Go back on here. Here it is. 600 views 9 months ago. So, but yeah, pretty funny stuff. Funny stuff, I think. So, Let's clear some of these. Man, it's 8 o'clock. Okay. We didn't get through. Let's see. Got that. We'll get that. We'll cover that next time. Okay. What do we have here? We can rifle through that real quick, let people know. So I just wanted people to know sometimes I get questions as far as like, what things do I watch, listen to? This right here, I'm not into these necessarily, like trying to figure out which character is playing what role in the movie that we're watching. But I found this one really interesting. It had some new takes on things that I wasn't familiar with. So I'll throw that one there and also in Rockfin. And but again, I'm just talking about videos. I don't know anything about necessarily channels. But if I find an interesting video, I like to pass it along. Oh, there's mine. That one we can go over, but no, it's where'd it go? This one? No, that's Jen and Shapu. Oh, here we are.
You see where Kitty is, right?
Yeah, she's watching, but she's inside, so I'm happy. So he goes over a lot of because there was a special that just came out that that Michael and Oprah were doing, and called The Light We Carry, and he has a lot of really interesting take on the satanic connections to of course to Lucifer, and it was a really interesting video with some new things that I hadn't thought of before. So in any case, that's the one. I don't know about his channel, I just know that particular one. Then you've got if anybody had a chance to check out Batman's channel, I don't know how often he's going to do this, but he did a thing where it was movie trivia. Of course, I excelled at it, but the rulings were unfair. But no, it was super fun. And once in a while, whoever's channel, we should try to do things and not even worry about prizes and stuff. It's cool if you want to give away prizes, but the problem is YouTube makes it all messy, and so everyone's screen thinks they're the first comment, but then depending on how it shows up on the person running it, it can be different. And I appreciate people wanting to. Well, again, she didn't actually beat me. It's because the algos machine was off. Okay, no, she didn't beat me. But some people get, competitive. I'm not one of those. No, I'm the least competitive of anyone I know. So, anyways, I don't know. The silent wife's really talking a lot tonight. But but no, it was fun. And anytime people can get together and just have some fun, I find it interesting. My wife and I just don't watch these kind of shows. She, like I said, she's into weaving, so those will be on sometimes, and they'll go live. And of course, we watch the Auditors, and they'll go live, and but on the cooking shows and things. And whenever I'm in, and especially like say other shows that talk about the Bible, like for instance, there's this one I really like, the Midnight Ride. They have a lot of information that I find fascinating, and when you go in their chats, because the people that watch it already have a relationship with God, or at least they're God curious, I guess we could say. And it's kind of like I feel here. It's fun. There's very little, if ever, negativity, because the people are there. They want to be there and enjoy the camaraderie and stuff. And I find interesting because the channels a lot of times that I would watch and listen to, there was fighting in the chat. There was put downs and people complaining about whether they have a blue wrench or not. And I don't see that in these other shows. And it was very, I guess, uplifting, because we get fixated and think that YouTube's only this specific area, but you got to think of it as like a city, You're used to this one particular block, but maybe you take the B train this time and you end up in a new city and you find other people that think and talk like you. And so I encourage people, keep looking, keep expanding your horizons, but keep your guard up, because the devil can quote scripture, and just because something looks inviting, it might not be in your best interest. And but like, for instance, where were we? Go back to this gentleman. I just found this gentleman through Vlad, and it's a gentleman called Everett Roth, and he has an amazing breakdown on tarot cards, and he also does one on New Age movement and yoga. And I could go over it, and I'll say a little bit, but he covers it so well, because I've discussed this. Is that I'm not on the screen anymore. Oh my goodness, we've got to fix that. What do you mean so? People want to see my mug. Okay, where were we? We're here. Okay. Because I've discussed it on this before. You can read in the scriptures, and God talks, and now I'm not even sharing, am I? I'm really messing this up. Let's see. Share screen. Stop screen share. Present. Screen share. Entire screen. Let's see. Does that work? Let's see if that works. But the scriptures talk about it. God doesn't say none of these things work. He actually says divination, or whatever, however you say that, and talking to spirits and the other side. There are times in the Bible that stuff's happened, and there were times that they actually raised. I think it was a Lazarus. Seems like everyone from the Bible that raised him, that was named Lazarus. Maybe that's a translation thing, but there was a dude that got raised by some witch or something in the Bible, and it was not a good scene. And so what he says is he warns you to beware of these things, not because they don't work, but because they do. And it's about the intent. And if you believe in these things, they'll work for you. And he describes this gentleman here, Everett Root. I'm not sure how you say it, but he describes that these demons, or Satan himself even, he knows everything about you, just like God. I mean, that's how they attack you. Don't forget, when you figure out that this is a spiritual battle, and that there is forces of good and evil, and it breaks down to God and Satan. You can't have one without the other. That's just the way it is. Just the way it works. And so if you believe in the evils of Satan, then you can believe in the existence of God. That's your salvation. And so what he says is that since they know everything about you, well, then absolutely, you get somebody that, and it could even be someone that's being used by dark forces, and maybe they don't know it. Maybe they've opened themselves up to a demon or multiple demons channeled. And if you look and you kind of like say, oh, I'm out, this guy sounds nuts. The Bible stories, Jesus was tossing demons left and right. That's what he did mostly, it seemed, more than, making wine. He was tossing out demons. And how was he doing it? Well, he had the Holy Spirit in him. He could just touch him and stuff and tell him to get out. But when he met Satan, the way that he fought Satan off every single time, and you can look it up, he was quoting the words of God. So basically, he was teaching us, if you learn scriptures, if you learn it in your heart, that's your sword. Jesus comes back with a sword out of his mouth. God speaks everything to existence. Everything works off a vibration. That's all science. Well, at least the last part supposedly is. The other ones, they'd argue. But that's the thing. It's all about that, and sound waves and all this. And so they're being channeled. They're reading your cards or telling your fortune. And again, all of this was talked about in the Bible. All of it was there in those days. And then he continues on in here. I'll throw this one in there. Share, clickety click. Where are you guys? You're over here. Paste. And there. We can gank some demons tonight, Jen. I think that's a great idea. Okay. Paste. Throw it over there. Okay. And then, oh, that's Algo. Where'd he go? Oh, he's over here. Then he had this one about the New Age. But if you find that one, you can find this one. It's right next to it. And he goes over yoga and all that. Turns out this guy was a yoga instructor, and he has all kinds of degrees and stuff. But he goes over about how, like we've discussed, I've discussed on Jen's channel too with Shapu, that New Age is still the same thing. It's old age. When you look at the breakdown of New Age and yoga and all that, and you open your chakras and you do all this to do what? To have the power of Christ. It's written about in the Bible. In those times, I think it's in Timothy, like in those days, the people that have the Godhead but don't know the power that it comes from. They don't acknowledge God. And that's the same thing that Satan did as the original fallen one. He decided that he could run things better. He had the power, and he could do it himself. And he's not some horrible pitchfork monster. I mean, he can appear like that. He can appear as anything. But mostly God says he appears beautiful. I mean, think of how he was able to deceive angels that were sitting at the right hand of God, or at least, in his house. Maybe they were in the entertainment room or the pit or whatever. They weren't allowed in the living room. We were never allowed in my living room. Why do they call it a living room? I used to ask my mom that. I mean, she didn't like my humor back then either, called me a smart aleck. But I used to say it's better being a dumb aleck. She said ass, and she never said ass, but my dad did. Anyways, but we were never allowed to live in the living room. It was for company only. But when the company came over, we'd either have them over, we'd eat in the kitchen, the dining room, or the conversation, whatever, living, whatever you would call that, regular room. Conversation pit, they used to call them, or what do they call them now? The great rooms? I don't know. But that's where people hang out. The living room. No one lived in it. I'm way off topic. But yes. And Ouija board, same thing. And so what he describes is, because like people that use yoga for health reasons, great. But there's so much spiritualness behind yoga with the poses and the whole thing that you can listen to him, because he goes over where some of it, it's demonic. And, you can argue with it, but, at least listen to it. That's what I do. I listen to, what am I posting? Oh, copy it. I at least listen to things. No, I don't want to leave. Okay, go here. Clickety click. 100% says Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Let's see. Go over here, paste, and then there. Okay. Let's go back. I think we were here. Okay. So yeah, so he goes over it, and because he, like I said, he was a yoga instructor and stuff, and he even talks about this one particular type of yoga that's called the, what is this thing called? The Kundalini yoga. And it's the same stuff, your armor, what do you call it? Armoring up, you're leveling up with your chakra and stuff. I mean, it's pretty much everything except mentioning Jesus or God. You become your own God. And look at this. Ordinary man. Here's the model now. And what's this? Oh, the serpent. Oh yeah, that's no bueno. So now you're practicing something that they're telling you. If you do it correctly, the serpent will completely go up your spine. See, he climbs. But see, just because you've done yoga in your past, that doesn't make you a bad person. That means you were deceived like the rest of us. I grew up thinking that this double triangle, one right side up and one upside down was the Star of David. Turns out there isn't that. It's the Star of Moloch. And it's exactly what the Bible said was going to happen in the end times. There were people that were going to show up and pretend to be other things. It's the same thing. I was deceived. We were all deceived. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to fight over. We just need to like own up to it and move on and realize that we're not each other's enemy. We know who the enemy is. They want to send snakes up our spine. We know who comes from the snake, and it ain't God. I read the stories. So there you go. Here's another depiction of it. No bueno. That's what you want to achieve? Complete snakedom. I don't see God in here anywhere. Sorry. That's what I don't see him at all. So what's this? Oh, Janet Chapu, if either one of you are watching, it was at whatever minute mark this is of your show. 2 hours and plus. Remember this? They were showing this painting with this depiction of God. And of course, me being, who I am, rather than go over like the amazing things in the painting, I immediately say, hey, everyone, that's the same look of the God that's in Monty Python and Holy Grail. I think it is. I think they use this as a reference, but I just think it's funny. That's how my eye works. I look at that and see that. So anyways, all right, let's get rid of that and that. What is this? And again, I totally am against AI, chat, GPT, all that stuff. It's all demonic. In my eyes, it's all demonic. I don't get a good feeling the time I tried it. I don't like looking at it. But I find it interesting. They're posting these articles in mainstream now. And they're like trying to show you how poor AI is. And they're getting people to get interested in playing with it. And it's like no one watched any of the Terminator movies or whatever. I mean, each time that all of these are tests. They want to see how many people are buying in to their new stuff and how many new souls they can get on their highway to hell. And so I looked for this, and of course it was taken down. It's not on this thread, but you can find it if you look for it. But it's so creepy because AI is like merging beer cans into people's faces. There's actually a hand in here. And that's why I love Twitter. Some of the comments of like, let's see, where is it? Come on. Like this actually happens in the commercial. Looks like these people go on fire. This guy, oh, the beer bong. No, but somebody says, does mine come with a hand or do you have to insert your own? Like AI doesn't understand the difference between, there's a pizza one that's just disgusting. Like the people like turn into like the pizza and everyone has demon eyes. It's just, and I should probably even be showing you and playing it, but I just want to show you what people, they're being exposed to. I didn't want to discuss that one. Share beer with a friend. Sure. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Anyways, it's just all, what's going on there? It's all demonic, but they're making people find humor in it and getting it to trend and getting more people talking to demons. That's the way I see it. So try to stay away from it. Like I said, I'm not going to play the commercial. I'm just telling you that Satan's the prince of the airways, and these are his minions. And so if you want to shy away from tarot cards, because he can use those to talk to you, and you want to shy away from Ouija board, because definitely some stuff comes out of there, you watch yourself with these black screen scryen mirrors, because you're directly talking to demons on their home turf, the airways. So that's my thoughts on that. We covered that. Covered Batman, Algorithm, Midnight Ride, Funny Cop Video. Let's see. That's us. This is my viral one. I got my Lassie video. Well, it's getting up there. Come on, we can get another 1,000 views and get that to 33 3 years ago. We get three. Oops, we get 3 threes there. Oops. I can get rid of the PayPal though. We don't have PayPal anymore. Anyways, we do have Cash App, so. And this one you definitely should must see because that's what it's called. Bible Revelation must see. I cover a lot of the things that have been changing over the years, including, this, because we were covering Isaiah 12, and if you remember the lying laying with the lamb, it's never existed now. If you go to Isaiah 11 and you read that passage where it should say, and the lion shall lay with the lamb, it now says in every single Bible on KJV, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. So the lion's out of the picture completely and no longer laying, it's dwelling. So they're just hanging out. So it still sounds like the wolf is no bueno. And do I believe that God is changing the Bible? No. Do I believe that he allows the devil to change the scripture text? Yes. And why do I say that? Written scripturally. There's books that are sealed, and there's books that are open, and there's another book that's sealed for a time and then opened. I believe, and there's even discussions about how the devil or Satan has can change time and things or whatever. I'm not saying it the way it's written. You can look for it. But the basic discussion is this: to let us know the end times are here for a world of unbelievers, including myself, up until just a few years ago, when my eyes got opened by the grace of God, and that's the only way it works. And the only way it can happen is you have to ask for it and you have to talk to him. If you don't do that, you'll be blind. You'll be blindsided. And shit's going to go sideways, and you might have so much fear that you'll die. That's what it says in the Bible. Thing that people are afraid to look at. Yet, I digress. It says that in those times, he's going to be allowed to mess with us. And why are we supposed to be aware of that? So we know we're in those times. It's real simple. And so what is the Mandela effect or the quantum effect or whatever? I don't know. Who's doing it? I don't know. How are they doing it? I don't know. Anybody that tells you any one of those answers, they're a liar, because they don't. But what we can tell you is this: something is happening. Something's happening on a supernatural level that it's unexplainable in modern terms that we understand. And that's the amazing thing, is that we think of, and this is on my channel that you're on, look for it. It's one of my older videos. When you find passages like "judge lest you not be judged" has never existed, and then it now says "judge let ye not be not judged." When you find things like that, no matter how old your Bible is, or the one that's troubling me that no one seems to be able to answer. Oh, this is a good one. Everyone knows this, even before I even read any of the Bible. Oh, we're in my Bible discussion and quantum effect. But we've got to stop for a second, because my dear sweetheart is here. After that scary, scary moment, what were you thinking? Don't go up there, nut. You hear me? Don't go up there. She listens very well. You hear me? Okay. You want to sit here? Oops. You want to watch the rest of the show right here? It'd be nice. Stay right there? Yeah, probably not. That's fine. She's her own woman. Born free. Okay. Where were we? What do we got? Amos 8:11. Is that one of the ones that says it'll be allowed to change? Yeah. So let's go back. Clickety click. We were here. We're here. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So this one. I mean, I knew this prayer before I ever cracked open a Bible. And what's funny is, you know, a lot of the stuff that I used to learn as a child in Hebrew school was the Torah in a language called Hebrew with no vowels. Talk about really traumatizing a kid. I had to go regular school, then Hebrew school 3 days a week. So I learned a new language. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know a lot of those passages are the ones I read now because the Old Testament is the Torah. But here you go. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And now, of course, it doesn't say that. It now says, forgive us our debts and debtors. But what's really weird is like the next passage down, it brings up trespasses again. But the actual Our Father prayer, the one that Jesus gave us, has been changed. And you can squirm your way around it, but you know in your heart, you know in the back of your mind, it's been changed. That one's so famous. But this is the one that that it came up while I was doing this video, or right after I did it. So this is a real famous passage. This is where there's a gentleman that's trying to get healed in this water, but he can never make it. And so Jesus is there, and he touches him because he has that power. And that's the thing. The New Age people are like, well, hey, if you line yourself all up and you do this thing and you bang that pot and whatever, next thing you know, you become God and you can do everything. Look, I'm not saying what works and what doesn't, but whatever you put your mind into, like I can make this through the power of God, I can believe, and if he wants me to, through his grace, it could help me. But no one's ever proven that. And I know I used to sell the different stones and copper bracelets and all that. And maybe people have felt things from them. But there's other people that haven't. So just like there's that book on back pain. It's healed me and many people I know. But then there's a bunch of people that never read it or just completely dismissed it and won't ever work for them. Remember, that's science too, the placebo effect. How can people take a placebo pill and get the same results as the person taking the pharmaceutical? That's science. That's provable. And that's all I'm saying. Yes, some people can be healed from this, that, and the other. But nothing works in this system. It's not through the power of God. God either does it or allows it or doesn't allow it to be done. Period. End of story. You can try to convince me differently, but the difference is I'm not locked into a book. I'm not locked into a dogma. I'm not locked into a religion. I asked for a relationship with God, and I got it. I'm no special person. The only reason I'm saying this, and it sounds foreign to you, is you haven't taken the time in your heart to actually try. That's it. And for whatever reason, you're being blocked. You're being blocked by a stronghold of a belief that you have. You're being blocked by some emotional thing. You're being blocked by some demonic possession. I don't know. But you're forcing yourself for once to not look at information. And as someone that you pride yourself on looking at everything, you need to look into this. If so many people from so many different religions, including atheists, and the gentleman I showed you earlier, not only is he a yoga instructor, he was an atheist or agnostic. There's so many people that are finding Christ. And I'm saying Jesus Christ. That's a name that actually casts out demons. I don't care if there wasn't a J. It doesn't matter to me. That name has power. Why? Same thing as the placebo effect. If you put the power into the name, it works. Maybe it's been changed over the years. And if it's more comfortable for you to say Jehovah or Yahweh instead of God, go for it. But I'm telling you, when there's some kind of crazy shit coming my way, and I ask Jesus Christ, or I ask for Jesus to please take care of it or handle it, or I just get on my knees, and that name flows, that's the one I'm using. That's me. This is my show. But that's what I see. I see a lot of people getting confused because part of the deception is to take away your tools for this war. We talked about it on Jen's show, armor up. That doesn't mean literally put on a suit of armor. You got to armor up with what? The Word of God. I just told you that's how Jesus fought off Satan. You've got to use God's power. He's waiting for you. And how do you do it? You do it through prayer. He knows what's in your heart. He knows what you want. He's just like you to ask. He'd like you to have a relationship. He could just do everything for you, and you still will never know he exists. And that's no free will if he just smooths everything out for you. Instead, he lets go. He allows things to happen so you make choices. And depending on your choices, you'll either have a good time or a bad time. Is that God's fault? No. You're making the choices. You know what he's asking, and you're choosing to do something different. Is that easy to figure out? Absolutely freaking not. Do you know how many times there's something I want done, and I keep coming up with 1,000 different ways to get it done, and I don't know if any of those are his plan. But at the same time, if I do nothing, then am I not helping his plan? It's such a dichotomy to be caught into. But that's when you really have to work on your faith. And if you ask God to do something, you have to sit back and let it happen. But you also have to be awake enough. That's why God says be sober, because if there's some sign that shows up that you're supposed to grab onto to achieve that goal, you got to be ready for it. At least that's what I see. And so when this passage changed, arise, how was that? That's a pretty good rant. When this passage changed, arise, take up your mat and walk, it changed to, where is it? It changed to couch. And there was a whole discussion on a bunch of channels that couches didn't exist back in those days. And you can see that I not only took the time to do the screenshot like I did on everything else on this video, I had to make all this on my stupid little free paint program. It's getting blurry and blurry. It's interesting how that works. But it definitely says couch here. And if you look at the original video, you'll probably be able to see it better. But the weird thing about this is, if you look at it now in the KJV, because again, that's what I've been discussing, and that's what I read. That's just how I learned it, and I stick with it. Excuse me. It now says bed. So I pose to you, if I was looking at this because it had changed, because I believe it should say mat, why wouldn't I say, look, it's changed to bed? But instead, I wrote it's changed to couch, because it did for a very short time. Now it says bed. Check out the lyrics to California Here I Come by Sophie B. Hawkins. All right, I'll try to write that down. Hang on, everyone. I got to stop showing you to write this down. That's a lot of writing. Let's see. Here I come. California. Here I come. Woof, woof. Okay. I'll check it out. By who? Sophie. Okay. All right. Got it. Wonder if that's some encrypted code thing. You work for the CIA? Blink once if you do. Of course, I wouldn't be able to see that. I'm screen sharing. Okay. Let's see. Looks like your avatar blinked. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, how did it go? Why would I even bring this up if it was always bed? So, and then of course I went over that, unicorn popped in, and piss is in the Bible multiple times. And this passage where he talks to Moses and he's like, hey, I'm going to put you in the crack of this mountain, and when I walk by, because your face would explode, that way you won't see me. And then all of a sudden, the next time I read through it, it had this passage, and I don't ever remember this. And it says, I will take away my hand, and you will see my back parts. So he basically said he's going to moon Moses. And then, of course, if you watch enough of Jen and I together, I took this photo when I was looking at the, what do you call it, Sistine Chapel, and that Adam God painting. It's like right over here. But this is God's depiction, and there he is. So it actually made the Bible correct. Isn't that something? So what's next? Let's see. Alien is in there 12 times. I don't know. It's a really good video, and they have this little cartoon where everyone's looking at their phones asleep. So, this one was interesting because this happened. I watched this happen during the last few years, shall we say? And this passage, and I love Psalms, and if you haven't read them, if you're ever having fear, there's really good Psalms because it's the writings of David, and some of them are like, God, why have you done this and allowed this to happen to me? Woe is me. And then the next one, he's singing songs of praises. So there's always something in there that'll help you, I feel, with something that's going on in your life. But on this one, he says, Psalm 93:1, for he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. And then we actually had a deadly pestilence. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And this passage changed to the noisome pestilence. Almost like, if you heard it on the TV, it's happening. And if it wasn't, you didn't hear the noise. But I think that's part of this whole thing. God allows these to change. But again, everything's within his control. So I believe some of these are letting us know. Like the lion laying with the lamb is now the wolf dwelling. He's letting us know it's a warning. Just like this, the deadly pestilence is actually noisome if you realize it. So that's what I see in some of these changes. And then, of course, there's bottles now instead of wineskins. That was interesting because they didn't have them. Matrix, Neo, I guess, shows up. And this one was disturbing. I think this one's changed again. I haven't kept up with it. But at the time, I remember the first time I read this through, it said 2 men in the field, one taken and the other shall be left. And it said 2 women grinding at the mill, one shall be taken and the other left. And then it changed to 2 men in a bed and 2 women grinding, which is a sexual connotation. And so, but I think it's changed again. But again, God's allowing these to change. There's no way he changed this, but he allowed the book to be open and scrambled up. Why? So we would wake up and see that I couldn't find, I found Alleluia, but very few Hallelujah, which, means it's glory to God, right? Praise Yah, praise Yahweh. I couldn't find, I found Alleluia, I think, once. And then this one, of course, where Jesus actually tells him to bring the enemies in front of him and slay them before him. No, sorry, that not in my reality. Don't ever remember Jesus advocating murder. Goes against the things he's teaching. And then, of course, Jesus dies in a tree instead of a cross on 3 different passages. And so, again, the way I see it, or the fact that Timothy never fell down the well, all of this is just to prove the existence, not only the existence of God, but to prove that we live in what they want to call a supernatural world. But it's really just the natural world. We were just lied to on how it all works. And we were lied to on even how to talk to God, to the point where they've made everyone forget him. Where is it? Well, here, let me go back into this. I'm almost done with these. Clickety click here. Window. Okay, so I got this from Vlad again. But biblical meditation is not the same as Buddhist. Buddhist meditation empties the mind. Christian meditation fills the mind. Buddhist meditation is detachment. Christian meditation is an attachment to God. Buddhist meditation is passive. Christian meditation is aggressive. I'm not sure what that means. Buddhist meditation is demonic, and Christian is Holy Spirit filled. Well, these are his opinions, but I'm understanding what he's saying here. Yeah, you don't want to sit with an empty mind, mindlessly repeating a single word to gain a sort of altered state, burning candles, sitting on a rug. See, that's again, listening to soothing music, practicing yoga, focus on relaxation, calm and comfort, controlling your breathing. Those are all of the body, not of the spirit. I see where he's going. New Age meditation replaces the worship of God with a focus on self, replaces confession of sin with burning candles, replaces repentance with soothing music, breathing and being in nature, and replaces scripture with positive inspirational quotes. Oh, I already said that joke. But yeah, all of that. Interesting. Okay, what else? Well, that was for Jen. That's funny. Here you go. These religions, they wanted to take the actual connection that we have to God. I know it's on one of these. Let me finish here. We've seen that. Wait, go back. I'll show you them all. Hang on a second. There, this one. I was going to cover this. I never really got to it. But when you look at the different religions, all of them that I have on this picture here all start with the original stories out of the Bible. And they just branch off at different dates and times. Like this is when Muhammad and some other prophets come in, and the Rastafarians go with the dude that comes out of Egypt, and the Muslims go with Ishmael's side rather than Isaac and Jacob. And then you keep going, and then all of a sudden Jesus shows up, and the Catholics take off. And no, I'm sorry. Let's see. I don't know. But they split over where Jesus shows up. And then there's some people that just keep going this way. And so it's all about just trying to keep us all separate from each other and not having a relationship with God. Because if we keep all fighting, forgetting who our original, where we came from, we'll never know who we really are. So someone's lying. I like that one. Someone's lying. Someone is lying. And this one speaks for itself. Seriously. And they're in New York too. It's not the greatest thing. So, and then this one, if you haven't noticed, things as far as prices have went up, but now to keep you from thinking things are going up even more, they're just making everything smaller. I mean, you shouldn't be eating any of these things, but still, everything's smaller. And so that's another way that they can do inflation and kind of hide it from you. And they'll just make you have less of what you were buying. And most people only look at the total, and they don't look at the actual size of the things in the box or the ingredients, of course. What's this? Let's see. We can maybe read that later. Let's see. Oh, I thought this was a good one. I had to modify this, of course, for YouTube. Hopefully you guys can decipher the part that I added. But that's a good explanation, according to this astronaut. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I of course, made it less offensive. But yeah. So, what's next? I thought this was fantastic. Now Twitter has this thing like Snopes or whatever, fact checkers. So this person says if a woman really loves a man, as soon as they copulate, she will. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner, and only if she really loves you. If your love is strong, she'll literally just whatever. And then of course readers have added context that they thought people want to know. Vaginas are actually not capable of suction. So I thought that was cool that, but shows you the state of affairs that we live in, that they have to actually write this. Anyways, moving on. We've shown this before, but I'll keep beating this drum. Tell me that moon isn't at least translucent, So let's see. Where are we at? I hope he doesn't mind sharing it, but he says he doesn't. My new beautiful friend, if you're watching, God love you. He wrote this, and it touched my heart. It made me laugh. I took a picture of it until I could share it. But this was written about me, and I couldn't think of a better explanation of why I'm being used by God. I know you are totally sincere, he says. I could list a bunch of reasons why, but hey, I'm too drunk now. So I'm glad that she could hear your voice. That was the story I told you. I don't know if you heard it, about the little girl and how they took him as part of his family when he got saved. It's a beautiful story. And I can't do it now. It gets me going, tearing up. But he says, I love this. I don't think you are something supernatural, but do believe you are a beautiful and great argument for the existence of God. I will take that as a win. That is one of the nicest things that's ever been said. And thank you. And I hope you're dealing well with your struggle. We all struggle, and we'll cover that, and we'll end here. I think we got through all this. Yeah. Oh, these guys. So here, see how they create all these different fractions. Even within, if you want to say be a Christian, they'll break you up even within that. And it's all just trying to make us forget who we really are and who's really special. And that's why you come here. And I'll explain it right now. Here we go. We all come from the same source. And at one point, there was this distinction. There's these special children, these ones, whatever. And then things kept getting all muffed up. And then it came down to this. That same moment when God sends his only son down to earth, knowing that he's going to be sacrificed, the thing that he asked Abraham to do, but he didn't make him do, God himself has to do. And Jesus is on board with it. Now, of course, in the end, I mean, like anyone, he gets a little like, oh my goodness, do I really have to do it? He spends the whole night trying to pray with his friends, and they keep falling asleep. It's really sad. But in the end, he does that for us. He did it for you. He did it for everyone. And besides that life that was taken that wasn't theirs to take, that you can use as your get out of jail free card, besides that moment, there's something else that's really important. Hang on. You're on the edge of your seats. We were talking about Jesus, of course, but he does something. Shit. Let's figure this out together. Wow. That one just got pulled right out of there like a Harry Potter thread. Did you ever see that? That was so creepy. Dumbledore goes like this and drops some stuff in there. But right about now, I could go in there and stick it back in. So, hey, that was a good rant, too. He does something else super cool. He does a lot of things that are cool. But, man, that was just gone. How'd that go? Chris M's laughing at me. I don't blame you. I would, too. Oh, when you get my age, these things happen. Just remember.
I know nothing. Nothing.
So, I know I need to finish before I forget. We're almost winding down here at the end here, but we'll cover that next week. That's some good stuff. Oh, how about this? I heard this today. People don't want the truth. It's messy and it keeps them up at night. Huh? What do we have here?
That's very true.
Well, we'll have to put a pin in that and see if I'll rewind it and see what I was talking about to remember. But just remember this. We're in a spiritual battle. You have to see that at some point. You have to. And if you're in a spiritual battle, you're not gonna gank demons, as Jen says, with an actual taser or gun or knife. You might fight off monsters or host bodies, something, I don't know. But the actual evil spirit, that one that they talk about, it's the spirits in high places and principalities and all that stuff. The only thing you're going to be able to do is use the power of prayer. That's all we have to use. And I say that not in a negative way. We have the power. I already told you in the beginning, we have more angels working for us than they do. And anybody that is actually using divination and all that stuff, yeah, they can get some powerful dark magic. But remember, Jesus is in charge of all of that. That's what it was. Besides giving up his life for your salvation, the reason he showed up, and he says it, was not for the saved. It was for the Gentiles. It was for anyone that didn't think that they were part of the, quote, special tribe. Jesus was the great equalizer. There is no special tribe anymore. Spoiler alert, children of God, that's it. And when Babel happened, what did he do? He said that he scattered us and he changed our language. What makes us think he didn't change our appearance to each other? I talked about it with Jen and Chapu the other night. When you look at something and you see a color, like this lighter is blue, that means all light except blue goes through it. And you see blue here. And so if you put a certain filter on, you maybe see through the blue. Or, like Jen showed, there was special glasses that people put on, and they could see certain ultraviolet rays that normally you can't, and they saw demonic spirits and stuff. And I think that's part of the shielding that God talks about. If you read in the teachings of Paul and Saul and different people over the different Bible stories got shale or scales over their eyes. And I think in some way, some of it could be actual literal and some can be for our understanding of hypothetical too. Or not hypothetical, but relatable, whatever that word is. Insert it later in editing. I'll go like this. Insert here. No, I'm kidding. But the fact that we can't see things. Because what if we could? What if our eyes were opened up to see all the different frequency wavelengths that we can't normally see? It might freak you out all the time if you just saw like entities and stuff flying all around, staring at you when you're peeing or eating. You know what I mean? Hopefully not at the same time. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that there's things that God shields us from, like you would shield, like we watched my grandson today. You know, we keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't get into trouble. And I think that's what God does with us. And when you're ready, he'll remove a level or a shale or a scale or something, and you'll see something else more clearly. But you can try to jump ahead of the line and go through tarot card or fortune telling and whatever. But just know that God says it's not him talking to you. And so even if you have information that seems accurate, you're going to make decisions based on someone or something that you don't know who you're talking to. And so I guess that's kind of where I'll kind of wrap it up. We've been going for a while. But please, if I've said anything tonight that's made you at least a little curious as to why a nice Jewish boy would talk so much about Jesus in the Bible and how happy he is amongst all the craziness going on. And it's only because I've found peace. And it's a true peace that you can only get with a relationship with God. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to switch you to my religious dogma. I'm asking you to look into it yourself privately when there's no one around and see what happens. I always say a lot of things, your results may vary, but On this one, he tells you, he's knocked at the door. He's just waiting for you to answer. Are you going to let him in? Because if things pop off, you'll eventually talk to him, but hopefully it won't be too late, because there's a passage, it's the scariest passage you'll ever read. It's when people walk up to Jesus and say, I'm here, how's it going, Jesus? And he says, who are you? I don't know you, go away. And if you want to know fear, I don't care what comes off of that TV. That's the fear for me. And where does wisdom lie, according to the Bible? In the fear of the Lord. Why? Because he's a big, scary monster? No. Because he's a loving, forgiving, patient father who wants the best for his children. And if they strayed and they're in danger of an immortal soul being lost forever, then he might have to shake things up to wake them up. But he can be careful of the person that can kill the body, but they can't kill the body and the spirit. So, and I think I messed that up too. But that's the vessel God chose. So thank you, Father in heaven, for choosing me to speak to these beautiful, wonderful people tonight. We're all struggling right now, Father. Many of us are hurting. Many of us are alone. Many of us don't even know how to get ourselves out of the struggles we see. I ask you right now, Father, the sound of my voice, please help and comfort those that are needing your comfort right now. May the Holy Spirit come to them. May they ask to seek you out and see your face. And may Jesus show up and send them the Comforter as promised. Please, Father, I ask in the name of Jesus that you hear our prayer and help us in this time. We thank you. Amen. Okay. I'll look at the chat later if it's still there. Sorry I didn't talk to you all that much. Had a lot to say. But God willing, let's do this again, okay? Next Friday, same bat time, but possibly different bat channel, because I'll probably be over on Jen's channel. So, but if you don't see me here, look for us over there. And with that, what do I have? Shoot, where is it?
Hammer time.
Class is dismissed.
All right, you crazy cats and kids and whatever. It's good to see you all. God love you all. Have a blessed weekend, and God willing, let's do this again soon. Good night.